Quarterback of the league. Oh, what a catch by Jay Nathaniel. That touchdown, Hurricanes.
Shooter take a shot deep. Open target. Her third from left to right. Sets off. Oh,
Down.
watch who he's gonna step. He's gonna go for it. Fell from the sky into Aaron Ike's hand.
In what has become the absolute picture of perfection in the SEC Championship, Alabama and Georgia are at it again tonight. The number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide travel to Georgia to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. My name is Kate Padgett. Joining me in the booth is Dominic Barfield. Dominic, welcome in.
Happy to be here. Ready to see an excellent bunch of offense on display by 2 excellent veteran quarterbacks in Brandon Petty and Johnny Ray Davis. Absolutely should be an offensive atmosphere tonight. Let's see if defenses can make a stand and make a statement.
And we were in Tennessee earlier. We had some rain, and we got some more rain here tonight in Georgia. And the Georgia Bulldogs in the all reds will start on offense first. Jet O'Reilly on the return. Starting at the 30-yard line, the Bulldogs led by quarterback Brandon Petty. Petty turns around, hands to O'Reilly. O'Reilly running right, but met immediately.
You know, after seeing a heavy presence of Lane Easton last week, it's nice to see Jet O'Reilly getting the nod this week. Really would like to see some production out of Jet O'Reilly tonight.
And an empty formation early for Georgia. 3-by-2 set, delayed draw by Brandon Petty. Calls his own number, gets 5 yards, sets up 3rd and 6.
You know, Kate, do you want to talk about a quarterback with sneaky athleticism? Brandon Petty absolutely can make you pay on the ground. I've been harping that for a year and a half. Kid's just got great leg work.
2 receivers to the bottom, tight end receiver to the top. Petty hanging in the pocket, fires it over the middle, and his receiver looked like he slipped on the wet turf, and the ball hits the ground. Early punt for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the weather makes an early impact in the game. We could see it happen in any facet. Just Turf Monster absolutely swallows them up.
Yeah, and the number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide coming in as one of the best teams in the CFSL. I believe they are the only remaining undefeated team as Booker Travis takes it 7 yards on the return, and Johnny Ray Davis takes the field for the Alabama Crimson Tide just outside of the 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of the screen in the boundary. Tight end to the bottom. Davis on the wide receiver screen. It met immediately. Kyle Claxton loses a yard.
No, absolutely nothing working there. Nick Lee gets his hands on him, absolutely drives him back and says, we're not starting this today. Absolute stand on the first play for this defense.
And the Alabama Crimson Tide, again, led by senior quarterback Johnny Ray Davis, or junior quarterback Johnny Ray Davis, excuse me. But this offense goes with running back Kryzen Mai. And Mai gets the ball on the counter and gets 6 yards, sets up a 3rd and 5.
Not a bad hard run by Kryzen Mai for the first touch, 6 yards. You're going to like that each and every single time if you can maintain that. Facing 3rd and 5.
One of the best names in the league. We got some really great calls for Kryzen Mai tonight. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Davis drops back, hanging in the pocket, fires it deep down the middle, and Colby Coffee holds on to it in traffic.
What a dart by Johnny Ray Davis, putting that ball on a frozen rope over the middle in tight coverage. Only person can catch that's Colby Coffee, and comes down hard. What a great conversion for the Crimson Tide.
And on a cold, wet night like tonight, you need a little bit of coffee in your life. Trips open to the bottom of the screen. One back in the backfield with Davis. Davis calls his own number on the read option. Running right, gets some good blocks, and brought down just outside of the red zone, 14 yards.
And Johnny Ray Davis said, "Oh, Petty can scamper. I can do the same. Let me see what I can get shaken real quick." Big run there by Johnny Ray Davis.
We have an early twitch update coming momentarily. 3 receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top. Davis in the shotgun, fires it to Roman Ware, coming back to it, coming over from the defensive side of the ball for his first catch. Over on Twitch, it is a 6-yard touchdown pass to Blake Brock as Texas goes up over 7-0 on LSU with 6:55 left in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the top, 2 backs in the backfield with Davis. Davis hands to Mai on the counter again, loses yards, and the Georgia defense is all over it. A sea of red, led by Brady Cassini.
Now, after the big performance that Brady Cassini had last week against Auburn, nice to see that Cassini is absolutely still just in that motion and maintaining just absolute pressure to the ball.
3rd and 10 coming up for Alabama. 2-by-2 set. Davis in the shotgun has Mai on the screen. He's got blockers. Can he cut it up? No, he cannot. The Georgia defense played right through the offensive line and sets up a 4th and long.
Well, Alabama tried to call a screen, tried to dial up at a perfect time, and just nothing doing against the Bulldog defense.
The kick is up and the kick is good. So Alabama strikes first in the score column, but it is only 3 points. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Alabama leads 3-0. And if you're Georgia, you have to feel good about Alabama getting down there and only coming out with 3. As on the kick return, Jeff Master for 25 yards.
Oh, no, absolutely. You're going to be happy to hold him 3. You'd rather hold him to nothing, but the foot of Charlie Ware is just too accurate to miss that kick, even in the weather, and Alabama's going to be happy to take the early lead.
The ball is on the 27-yard line going out. Empty formation for Brandon Petty and the Georgia Bulldogs. 3-by-2 set. Motion the receiver from right to left. Petty pump fakes and fires it to O'Reilly on the screen. O'Reilly cuts in, cuts it back out for 9 yards.
Sketchy call of the screen, but hey, 9 yards, you're going to be happy with that. They're going to be happy to do that. I wouldn't look to run that so soon, but hey, you're going to be happy to take your yards.
Offset eye, Petty under center, turns around and hands it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly spinning, gets 4 yards and a first down.
Oh, trying to get the jet plane in early motion. Like to see the continual use.
2 receivers to the bottom, tight end receiver to the top. Petty in the shotgun, fires it over the middle into traffic and hits the turf. Lucky that they're holding on to this one.
No, that was an absolutely risky throw by Petty, and he's going to be happy to watch that bounce down to the turf.
3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Petty, play action, hanging in the pocket, fires it deep down the middle into traffic, and another dangerous pass by the Georgia quarterback.
You know, Kay, that is one thing I'll say about Petty. Petty is not afraid to risk it for the biscuit, and unfortunately, he's getting no biscuits at the moment.
2 receivers to the bottom, tight end receiver to the top. He gets it to O'Reilly on the screen. He's got good blocking, throws a stiff arm into Alabama territory.
And Jed O'Reilly showing the Crimson Tide offense how the halfback screen is supposed to work. Just absolute perfection there, picking up the first down and moving the chains for the Bulldogs.
And a wise man once said that the screen 60% of the time it works every time, and you're living in the 60% right there if you're Georgia. Good play call on the screen pass. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Petty in the shotgun, play action, fires it on a crossing route, has his man wide open, Uriah Pace for 17 yards.
You know, Kay, you said that a wise man made that stat. I'd like to meet that man and shake his hands, because that's an interesting stat lot, and I'd really want to see where he gets his numbers from.
Well, you'd be giving yourself a high five on that one. As over on Twitch, we have another update. A 2-yard touchdown pass to Jet Sims. Texas up 14-0 over LSU. Over on Twitch with 4:50 left in the first. 2-by-2 set. Petty hands up the middle to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly gets 11 yards.
Jet O'Reilly is absolutely getting everything going right now. He's just looking for that one call from air traffic control and just be cleared for takeoff for pay dirt.
We had a play last week where O'Reilly literally jumped over a defender in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. So let's see if he can get a little bit more heroics like that. Play action for Brandon Petty, hanging in the pocket, has all day into the end zone. Bobbled around, hit about 3 different guys' hands, and lucky it wasn't a turnover.
Yeah, no, everybody had a hand in possibly coming down with that ball there. They are going to be lucky to see that hit the turf.
2 receivers to the bottom, tight end receiver to the top. O'Reilly on the play action, hanging in, fires it to his man, and broken on immediately by the Alabama defender. Ball hits the turf, 3rd and 10.
Well, both offenses have shown that they can move down into the red zone area. One of these teams has just got to find the end zone first, Cade.
And he's under center. 7-step drop. Alabama bringing pressure and hit as he throws. Ball hits the turf, an incomplete pass, and the Crimson Tide defense stands tall.
Absolutely. KJ Jones absolutely sending the heat on that, getting the stop.
The kick is up, and the kick is good for Georgia and Mike Anderson as they tie it up 3-3, just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
And now, Kate, I got to ask, do you think Alabama's happy to keep Georgia at only 3 on that possession?
I feel like, given the fact that how many times that ball hit the turf and Alabama had an opportunity for an interception, I feel like they're a little disappointed that they let up any points.
I've missed the take.
2-by-2 set. Davis in the shotgun. Play action. Hanging in the pocket. Fires it to the left side, and it is a toe drag swag by Kyle Claxton. First down.
And 10 toes application challenge submitted. Beautiful toe drag there for the catch, and making that a Crimson Tide first down.
I see in chat, Shadow Sports and Gaming Network talking about what is the closest school to Kansas competing this season. It's either the Colorado Buffaloes or the Oklahoma Sooners. They're both bordering Kansas, so those are probably your 2 closest bets. As Kryzen Mai gets it on the counter, a nasty truck stick, gets 12 yards into Georgia territory.
Yeah, no, that is not the effort you want to see from Brady Cassini, absolutely getting flatlined by Kryzen Mai on that run.
3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Georgia looks like they're showing a little bit of a blitz. Davis, delayed draw to Kryzen Mai, and Mai goes nowhere.
Now, absolutely nothing doing there. King Harris smoked that quickly.
2 to the bottom, 1 receiver to the top, tight end to the top. Davis in the shotgun, takes the snap, hanging in, fires it to the right side, has a man wide open. Oh my goodness. Wasn't a solo around it, but he paid the price. Kyle Claxton.
And Deshaun Catchings absolutely made him pay for catching that. But
Shadow, we are doing great up here in the booth. We're glad we're not out there on the field right now because it's a little cold and it's a little wet. I enjoyed being up here in my nice comfy broadcast booth. Johnny Ray Davis calls his own number on the read option. A little sidestep. Touchdown. What an agility by the quarterback.
Kate, I got to be honest with you. I did not have a JRD rushing touchdown to start the game on my bingo sheet. What a absolute slice and dice on the run for JRD as he finds 6. What a run for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we kind of feel like Chris Bertman right here in the booth going, what? On the little sidestep by Johnny Ray Davis. I mean, I knew he could run, but the sidestep, right, it kind of caught me off guard.
I guess you could say that he was rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling his way to the end zone, huh?
Stumbling, baby. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We love the, you know what? Hey. Hey, now. Chris Berman is a legend. All right?
Whatever you say, Grandpa.
Full house. Petty turns around, hands to O'Reilly, loses 3 yards. Good stop by Brett Slate.
And Shadow, to answer your question, I am a fill-in on Wednesday nights. Cade is here on Wednesday nights. We are both in the booth on Thursday nights at the 6:30 and 8:30 slot, but we do have a rotation of commentators.
3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Play action for Petty. Petty fires it to the right side, has a man on a slant route. Uriah Pace for 13 yards. Over on Twitch, a 2-yard touchdown run by Jet Sims, his second of the night, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. Texas is up 21-0 early on LSU, 2:20 left in the first quarter. 2 to the bottom, 2 to the top. Play action for Petty. Petty fires it to his right side, has a man on an out route, caught by Buck Hunter, 7 yards.
And you know, I didn't even get to make my joke that Uriah Pace is on pace to have a solid reception night tonight. Absolutely great pickup there by Buck Hunter. Big tight end getting the movement early.
You can't call me an old boomer when you use terms like Uriah Pace is on pace. Like, come on, man. You can't do that.
Okay, boomer.
2 to the backfield, or 1 to the backfield, 2 to the bottom with Petty. Petty hanging in, fires it to his man on a Texas route, throws the man off to Jet O'Reilly, and then he gets planted.
Colin Perry lays the lumber on that shot to the Jet. Woo, but massive first down by the Bulldogs.
2 to the top, 2 to the bottom for Petty. Petty calling his audibles. Takes the snap, hanging in, fires it downfield, and hits the turf. Probably should have tried your hands before that play.
Then say it with me. Keep your head on the ball before you turn it upfield. That's how we drop the ball.
Shadow, I mean, typically the same group of guys call the same Twitch and YouTube broadcast as Brandon Petty gets 15 yards. And more often than not, we will end up with some of the similar teams. So it's entirely possible that you've come in here on a YouTube stream before and we've called the Georgia Bulldog game.
Kind of like me with Notre Dame.
We know you're the officially unofficial one of Notre Dame.
They're moving to make it official.
2 backs in the backfield with Petty. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Play action. Fires it in the middle. And oh my goodness. Petty must not like his receivers. He's throwing hospital passes right now.
How Shafane held on to that is anybody's guess. That was a cracking blow across the middle. Absolute hospital pass. It's the second hospital pass we've seen tonight, Cade.
You know, Dominic, touching on the fact that you're the unofficial official broadcaster for Notre Dame, doesn't Notre Dame play tomorrow night on YouTube?
Do they?
I think they do. Counter run to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly gets 5 yards, moves the chains, and they are knocking on the door of the red zone.
Okay, 3 things in life are guaranteed. Death, taxes, Dominic Barfield on the call for Notre Dame football.
2 tight ends in the formation, 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Petty, under center, turns around, play action, hanging in the pocket, fires it to his left side, has a man on a corner route, gets a block, and steps out. Buck Hunter probably needed a size 13 shoe instead of a 14 to get the touchdown, but nonetheless, 1st and goal, Bulldogs.
Now, but can we talk about that shifty movement by the big fella? Big fellas ain't supposed to move that fluid. That was an absolute bend the corner and almost took it for 6.
It was great awareness by the wide receiver to turn around and throw a block and give his guy a chance to get in the end zone. 2-by-2 set, turn around, handing to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly goes nowhere. The Crimson Tide defense selling out. Billy Savage on the TFL.
3rd tackle on the night for Billy Savage, absolutely making his presence felt.
And 2nd and goal on the 8-yard line. I formation for the Georgia Bulldogs. Turn around, handing to O'Reilly, running right, cutting back up the middle, running left, goes for 5 yards inside the 5.
A little bit of stutter stepping there. If Jet just goes full blast right at the hole and makes push, really could have found his way into the end zone.
I'm not even going to make a comment. 2 tight ends, Petty under center. And he's calling his audibles, and his offensive line a little jumpy. A false start is going to back him up.
That's not a call we get to say often, Cade. Interesting.
No, not really. I mean, I see it a lot in Sims, but never in a game. Like, very rarely do you see a false start called in the game. I mean, it happens. It's just not very often. 2 receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top. Petty in the shotgun, has Easton on a screen. Easton running right, cuts it back left, and goes nowhere. Sat down immediately.
Just a complete fumbling here to end the first.
And that is going to do it for the end of the first quarter. You're watching the CFSL presented by PX1 Sports on YouTube. The Alabama Crimson Tide lead the Georgia Bulldogs 10-3. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And the second quarter will start with the Georgia Bulldogs taking a second field goal. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 10-6, Alabama leads. 2 seconds gone in this second quarter. Dominic, do we like that drive from Georgia?
Do we like the drive? Yes. Do we like how it kind of completely withered and fell apart at the end? No. You're gonna be happy to get points on the board, but if Bama's gonna come out and they're gonna be able to find the end zone, you have to come out and match it completely. Threes are not going to help when sevens are being put on the board. You're gonna have to find some answers.
It's an empty formation for Alabama. Johnny Ray Davis alone in the backfield. Motions his man in. Jab step. Fires it to his left side. Has a man wide open on a corner route. Roman Ware takes it into Georgia territory.
Hey, corner routes are almost unstoppable in this league. I'm still wanting an all-corner offense someday. We will see it happen.
Some way, somehow, we will find a way. And just want to give a little bit of a shout out and a prayer to David Ware, the Alabama AD. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. We know you're battling, and we know you're fighting, and we love you, and we're praying for you, buddy. Turn around, hand to Kreis, and my gets no yards back to the line of scrimmage.
No, absolutely gonna absolutely agree with everything that Kay just said. This Wargle fan wants you to keep on fighting, Crimson Tide.
3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Davis motions his tight end from right to left. Takes the snap. He's looking, fires it downfield, has a man across the middle, wide open to Troy Tree for 15 yards.
Alabama is absolutely moving this right now. And you know what, Cade? If this continues, we might end up getting another clippable moment as I might be a little bit too friendly by the end of this.
We will wait and see what happens. We had a lot of great moments in that first game. We're waiting for a couple here. Davis calls his own number on the read option, and my goodness, an absolute elbow to the chest by Chad McPherson.
Now, okay, these two teams absolutely have no love for each other. It's going to be blow for blow any chance they can get.
Trips to the boundary for Alabama. Davis hands to Mai running left. He's got blockers. He's trying to stretch it out as much as he can, and he can't get there. Only gets a yard. 3rd and 11.
Now, that east-west ain't going to get you where you're trying to go. You got to get that ball turned up north-south in a jiffy.
Well, for a guy like Kreis and Mai, who's averaging over 100 yards per game this season, you want him moving north-south. Davis dumps it off to Mai on a sit route. He gets good yardage, 9 yards on the gain, with 4th and 2 coming up.
Yep, settling for the kick.
This is about a 40-yarder right here for Alabama. And the kick is up. And the kick is through the uprights as Alabama extends their lead back to a touchdown. Just over 7 minutes left in this second quarter, and it's the battle of the kickers so far, Dominic.
No, absolutely. Charlie Ware and Mike Anderson are absolutely going toe for toe here right now.
And both kickers 2 for 2 right now. The only difference of the game has been that Johnny Ray Davis touchdown. And you look at the game summary. Georgia's run more plays, but Alabama has more total yards, but Georgia has more first downs. So it's an old-fashioned SEC heavyweight battle.
No, you're just going to find your way into the end zone here on this drive.
2 receivers to the top. Petty in the shotgun. Fires it to his man on a sit route, taking what the defense gives you. Jed O'Reilly for 7 yards.
Both offenses are absolutely enjoying this sit-down route right now, and it is paying off to start. Georgia's going to have to keep this momentum going, but I wouldn't be afraid to go back to that sit-down route again.
And if you're the Alabama Crimson, if you're the Alabama Crimson Tide, at some point, trust that your corners and your safeties can make plays and maybe start getting a little aggressive. Petty takes the snap, dumps it off to O'Reilly on the screen, and goes nowhere.
That was definitely a 40% throw right there, if I saw one, Cade.
Over on Twitch, a 47-yard touchdown pass to Gabriel Guerrero. LSU reduces the gap to 24-10. 6:46 left in the second quarter. 2-by-2 set for Brandon Petty. Petty takes the snap, hanging in. He's got good protection. He's taking a deep shot. And he had a man, and it a little underthrown because of the weather. Gave a chance for the corner to catch up.
No, that ball hung up there, and it just allowed enough time for the Tide to show up and really knock that ball out.
It's a great play by Roman Ware in the trail technique to force the breakup, and the ball hits the turf on the punt return. Booker Travis with a mistake, and that's where the Alabama Crimson Tide will take over. Would have had better field position if he catches it cleanly.
No, wet ball makes a difference. He's just lucky that there were no defenders around to make a play for that ball.
3-by-1 set for Alabama and Johnny Ray Davis. Davis calls his own number on the read option again, and he is brought down immediately. 2-yard gain on the play.
Nah, definitely thought he could go back and make something working for that, and Nick Lee was not letting that cook.
2-by-2 set for Alabama. Georgia showing a double safety blitz. Turns around, hands it to Mai. Mai for 2 yards, sets up 36.
Yeah, no, you absolutely don't. You don't normally look to see having both of your safeties stack the box right there. But, hey, it looks like it pays off in wonders on that play.
Yeah, they both showed blitz, but one dropped back at the snap, so it's trying to disguise something for Johnny Ray Davis. 3-by-1 set. Davis in the shotgun, hanging in, gets pressured and brought down. Sacked on the play by LaCrissa Pettyjohn, her first sack of the night.
Oh, no, absolutely. I was wondering when we were going to see LaCrissa get involved. And, hey, for your first tackle of the night to be a sack, you're not going to be too mad about that.
Especially since Johnny Ray Davis was gearing up for an absolute moonshot of a throw. It's a good stop by the Georgia defense. And, Dominic, I mean, we have all watched Alabama versus Georgia in real life, okay? Those of us in the CFSL have watched Alabama versus Georgia. Defensive slugfests is what we come to expect when these two match up.
No, I was really, to be honest, I was really expecting this to be kind of an offensive just shootout and see who's going to survive. Nah, defenses are absolutely making a role in this game.
2 receivers to the bottom. Petty in the shotgun, getting pressured and fires it into the sideline to avoid the sack.
No, absolutely happy to get the way. Anthony Grant was coming in a hurry.
And that is a rather large individual. Anthony Grant, 6'5", 325. Don't want to be running around with him as Petty calls his own number on the read option. And there is Anthony Grant tracking him down from behind, an 8-yard gain.
No, I absolutely agree with you, Kate. If you have you got a refrigerator with legs coming at you, get out of the way. Not where you're trying to be.
Petty comes out under center, 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Delayed draw to his running back, fighting for yards. Jenna Riley sets up a 4th and 1.
Aren't all draws delayed there, Cade?
I mean, yes, technically speaking, but we're not going to get technical, okay?
We might.
Alabama fields the punt and takes it out with a good return by Booker Travis, fighting off defenders for 14 yards.
Now, Booker Travis absolutely had to make up for that wet ball drop on the last punt. Absolutely made up for it, fighting for every single one of those yards.
And here comes Alabama. 2 receivers to the bottom, 2 backs in the backfield with Johnny Ray Davis. Turns around, hands it to Mai. Mai gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Jad McPherson absolutely came out of a cannon to get in the backfield.
We have a Twitch update coming after this play. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Davis hands to Mai again. Mai running more north-south this time. 12 yards on the gain. Over on Twitch, it's a 13-yard touchdown run by Spunky Tolbert, and Texas leads LSU 31-10, 4:22 left in the second. Alabama, Johnny Ray Davis calls his own number on the read option. I apologize for the delay in commentary, but we just saw a stat that over on Twitch, Texas quarterback Spunky Tolbert is currently 24 for 24 passing.
I wonder if anybody can look and see what the record is for the greatest start for a player is.
I think it's around 30, right around that 30-31 mark. So he's on the verge. 2 backs in the backfield. Davis fires it over the middle and into traffic. Intercepted. The Georgia defense and Chad McPherson still going. Running to the right into Alabama territory. The Dogs defense stands tall.
And make that the 5th interception of Johnny Ray Davis this season. Absolutely sent a missile, and Jad McPherson was all over that. What a pick in the run afterwards, setting up the Bulldogs in great position to start off this drive, Cade.
I'm more impressed with the run afterwards. The breaking tackles, breaking out of it. My goodness. Delayed draw to Jet O'Reilly for a 1-yard loss.
And apparently Mike said he thought 35 was record. It looks like it's somewhere up there in that stat. And, hey, we are on stat watch to see if that holds up.
The fact that he's even above 20 and he's perfect.
Absolutely mind-boggling.
Impressive. Yeah, 2x2 set. Petty turns around, hands it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly shoving guys off. 4-yard gain, 3rd and 7.
Nope, and now you're going to be stuck facing a 3rd and pretty decent length. Got to find something here. You've got to find a way to find the end zone.
Back in the pistol behind Brandon Petty. Petty takes the snap, fires it downfield, has a man streaking, and Roman Ware, the last man to beat, brings down Jaden Charles. 1st and goal, Georgia.
Well, you needed something big there, and that is an absolute big call right there to Jaden Charles. What an absolute find for Brandon Petty out there.
And the Bulldogs knocking on the door. 5 yards left till pay dirt. 3 receivers to the boundary. Petty takes the snap, hanging in the pocket, doing some scrambling, calls his own number, and he's going to get brought down. Sacked on the play by Lucian Nister.
See, you've got to get that out. You have way too much. Gotta find either go for it or you got to get rid of that. You cannot afford to take a turnover here this close to the end zone. You have marched all the way down here. You've got to catch for 6. Field goals are not going to win you this game.
2 receivers to the top, tight end receiver to the bottom. Brandon Petty on a wide receiver screen into traffic. Oh my goodness. Xander Freeman saw 6 and dropped it. Over on Twitch, it's a 17-yard touchdown pass to Jesse King as LSU closes the gap. Texas still leads 31-17 over LSU, 2:43 left in the half. 2x2 set. Petty in the shotgun, hanging in, fires it over the middle, has a man wide open. He got him down there. He punches it in. Jaden Charles, touchdown.
Well, before that, I will allow myself my guaranteed wide receiver screen. Interesting call, but absolute find as this was just a Jaden Charles drive as the Bulldogs finally punch their way into the end zone, and it's a tie game here for the Bulldogs. Momentum is on their side. JRD and company are gonna have to find a way to get some mojo back in their side.
Maybe it's just me, Dominic, and maybe it's because I'm a romantic, but I love when Jaden Charles gets him down there and then they reward him with a touchdown. It always just irks me a little bit as Roman Ware on the 23-yard return when a receiver gets him down there, 50, 60, 70-yard play or whatever, inside the 3-yard line, and then the running back punches it in. I mean, yes, it's good for the team to score a touchdown, but you got to pay off the man that got you there in the first place. Davis on the counter. My goodness, the Georgia defense selling out. Timeout, Bama.
No, I absolutely agree with Kate, and I have a great comparison after this play.
3 receivers to the top. Davis in the shotgun, getting pressured, rolling out. Can he get him out? He does. Finds a man on track, a broken tackle, and Coffee is flattened.
Oh, what a good time for a coffee break right there. JRD keeps the play alive, finds Coffee, absolutely fights through one would-be tackler, takes the shot, but a coffee break indeed.
Oh, man. What was the comparison you were talking about?
Reminds me of the Arizona Cardinals when Larry Fitzgerald made it all the way downfield and they paid him off to win the game.
I remember that against the Packers in the playoffs.
Yes.
Davis in the shotgun, fires it to the left side, streaking by the defense. Touchdown time! Kyle Collection!
Roll Tide roll as they strike back with an emphatic answer saying, you want to find the end zone? Buddy, we know how to do it ourselves. What a moment and what momentum stealing for Johnny Ray Davis on that bomb.
Oh my goodness. That was just an absolute missile by Johnny Ray Davis. And over on Twitch, Spunky Tolbert had 26 completions in a row until he threw one out of bounds to avoid a turnover. But 26 still, 26 for 26 is wildly impressive.
No, absolutely. What a run.
Two receivers to the bottom, tight end receiver to the top. Petty in the shotgun, hangs in, stepping to his right, fires it down the middle, has a man on a crossing route. First down, Georgia, just under a minute 20 left.
You know, Cade, I'm with Cameron on this one. Spunky Tolbert is an elite name. Absolutely one of the best names in the league.
Well, I've been told that the user that created Spunky Tolbert, that is his father's actual name. So Spunky is a real person's name. Petty fires it over the middle, has a man, Jeff mashed up to 12 yards, up near midfield.
Now knowing that that's a real name is absolutely just top tier. That is a person who is living life.
Two receivers to the top, tight end receiver to the bottom. Petty under center, 3-step drop, fires it, getting pressured into traffic, hits the turn.
You know, eventually the Crimson Tide have got to get paid off for all of this amount of touching they have on defense to not come away with the turnover. They're going to get rewarded here eventually.
I'm not even going to say anything on the touching. Petty on the shotgun, getting pressured, trying to get it out on the screen. Lucky it hit the turf.
No, Cade, we do not participate in CFSL After Dark. We are not going to continue that.
I'm pretty sure we're the only ones that still continue it. It's typically on Thursdays. 2-by-2 set. Petty in the shotgun. Alabama bringing pressure. Petty taking a deep shot into traffic. Roman Ware with the deflection. 4th and 10.
What a deflection by the big body Roman Ware. Absolutely saying, I don't think so. And now you're giving this explosive offense the ball back with under a minute, but 2 timeouts.
I mean, we've seen what Alabama can do, especially on that last play to Claxton. But we've also seen the last few weeks that this Alabama offense hasn't looked as world-beating as they did at the beginning of the season.
No, absolutely. I agree with you tenfold there, Cade.
2 backs in the backfield with Davis, 2 receivers to the top. Davis takes the snap, hanging in the pockets, got all day, takes a deep shot down the left side into traffic, and there's his second interception of the night. Turnover, Georgia. What a mistake by Johnny Ray Davis.
And Tyrell we trust. What a pick there before the end of the half. Might be able to see Georgia do something here and walk away with points. Got 3 timeouts, 32 seconds to work with.
No, the weather has not helped with Alabama. They played back-to-back rain games, but so are the other teams, and we'll wait and see what happens. And either way, Alabama did win last week, so we'll see if they can get it done today as Brady Sherfane gets 9 yards. Timeout, Georgia. 2-by-2 set. Alabama walking the safety down, looking like they're going to be sending some pressure. Petty in the shotgun, hanging in, getting pressured, fires to the right side into traffic, and Devin Bennett with the deflection.
I said it once, I'll say it again. This defense has got to get paid off one time for the amount of deflections they've had tonight.
The defense is, I mean, it's been a defensive battle, but it seems like it's getting a little bit more exciting right here. Motion quads to the boundary, hits Jet O'Reilly on the screen, and he goes backwards out of bounds, loses 4 yards.
Essentially a glorified wide receiver screen. Interesting.
And Georgia is going to punt with 21 seconds left here, probably hoping for a 4th brand moment.
Nothing doing.
Ooh, almost. It died, but it didn't die quite fast enough. 15 seconds left for Johnny Ray Davis and the Alabama Crimson Tide. 2 timeouts. I know I'm going for it, but based off of the heavy run formation and the chew clock, they are going to take it into half. Turn around, hand across and mine running left, throws one man off, only gets 3 yards, and no timeouts are coming in.
You know, okay, it didn't die fast enough is crazy out of context.
And that is going to do it at halftime. The Alabama Crimson Tide lead the Georgia Bulldogs 20-13. You are watching the CFSL presented by PX1 Sports on YouTube. We are finally at halftime, Dominic. We can catch our breath. It was an exciting last few minutes. Break it down for us.
No, absolutely. And the rain is just coming down harder and harder out here. I can hear it through my headset. What a rain game we are experiencing. And the rain is making an effect on both sides. We've had some turf monster incidents. We're going to blame a couple interceptions on some wet balls, hanging up where it shouldn't have been. But it's an absolute defensive slugfest right now. Both teams have been kind of struggling to find their way into the end zones, picked up the momentum there lately. But these defenses are absolutely doing everything they can to smother and stifle when they can afford to. Really going to have to see who can come out in the second half with more intensity.
Yeah, if you look at these first half stats, Alabama's leading in passing yards, rushing yards. Georgia has time of possession, but those 2 turnovers for Alabama are looming very large. And the fact that Alabama doesn't have a takeaway themselves with how many times they've had a chance, you think that is the reason that they only lead by 7 right now.
Said Georgia not coming away with points after that second turnover is absolutely going to hurt them later on down the road.
As Ware, fighting for some extra yardage, gets 29 yards on the return, and we will see Johnny Ray Davis first to start this second half. 3 down linemen for the Georgia Bulldogs. 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Davis takes the snap, hands to Mai up the middle, and only gets a yard. The dog defense was there.
No, absolutely. It is a complete dogfight on defense right now.
I'm telling you, man, you call me a boomer and then you come up with all these dad jokes. It's something else.
Hater.
3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, hands to Mai up the middle, throws a nasty stiff arm, fighting for the extra yardage, and gets the first down.
That is a hard, angry run right there, fighting for every single bit of that first down conversion there, Cade.
It's a 2-by-2 set for Alabama, just outside of the 40. Hand to Mai up the middle, cuts it back left, and he's got a lane to the 30. Can they catch him? To the 20, tracked down from behind, but 46 yards on the run.
You know what? For some of those shifty movements, I got you, Cade. Whoop! Absolutely just took his soul, took his ankles, and just scampered down. Not enough gas in the tank to get across the finish line, but what a nasty run right there.
Yeah, that was one heck of a run by Cries and Mai. 2-by-2 set, Johnny Ray Davis with Booker Travis in the backfield. Play action, Davis fires it into the end zone, into traffic, and absolutely dropped by his receiver.
And another ball that hits the floor that some people are going to say should have been caught by somebody.
I'll tell you what, man, this rain is really impacting these receivers tonight. As Travis motions behind Davis, he's running left, he breaks one tackle. Johnny Ray Davis throwing a block, and Booker Travis is in the end zone. What a run!
That is a big fella run right there. First off, shout out to JRD throwing blocks. You don't normally see quarterbacks out there putting the body on the line just to go ahead and do that. But that is an absolute can you dig that kind of run.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback get a pancake block, cake, but I think Johnny Ray Davis may have done just that. What a team effort to say the least, but wow, what awareness by the quarterback as Jeff Master takes it out just past the 25-yard line for the Georgia Bulldogs.
No, Cade,
wow.
Cade, I got to be real with you. That was a five-time kind of run right there.
Full house formation for Georgia. Jet O'Reilly running right and goes nowhere. The Alabama defense selling out. Billy Savage on the tackle.
Oh, absolutely nothing doing there. Stifled the thought of that play.
2-by-2 set for Georgia. Brandon Petty in the shotgun. Draw to Jet O'Reilly. O'Reilly running right. He's got some good blocks. Throws a stiff arm, spinning past the first down.
That had every bit of intention of trying to go to the crib. The Crimson Tide are going to be happy to get him slung down to the turf.
2 backs offset, Petty on each side. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Play action for Brandon Petty, hanging in the pocket, fires it over the middle into traffic, and held onto by Jaden Charles, 20 yards.
What a performance Jaden Charles is having tonight. 4 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Just absolutely being that blanket that is needed.
And it was, like you said, an absolute safety blanket. And it was even a better catch by Jaden Charles. We've seen the drops be a problem tonight for both teams because of the rain, and he held on to it as he was getting hit to move Georgia into Alabama territory on a drive where they need points. Full house formation for Georgia. Petty, play action, steps back, he's hanging in. He's stepping right, he's stepping left, he's following his taxes, fires it to the left into triple coverage, somehow finds Jaden Charles.
What a unit out there. Such strong hands holding in that catch.
And just a better throw by Brandon Petty into triple coverage, threading the needle there. Gets it to O'Reilly on the screen, and going backwards is the Georgia offense.
A screen. Interesting. Starting to become screen you over here, Georgia. I don't think you want to take that title away from Oregon.
I don't think it matters how many screens every other team runs. That will always be Oregon's title for season 22. But if you see that empty formation and then they motion to quads, they've run the screen pass every time out of that formation. Petty calling his audibles, 3-by-1 set. Bama only bringing 3. Petty's got all day, steps into it, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Taken away by the Alabama defense on a drive where you feel like they really needed points. KJ Jones on the interception.
You know what? I would like to take credit for that. I definitely did say this defense was going to get paid off eventually for all of those drops. Have you one right there?
Right, it is their first interception of the night, and like you said, finally, as Cries and Mai loses 2 yards on the draw, Smoke Vasquez on the TFL.
No, Smoke wasn't too kind to having to be right back on defense, and absolutely shot a message letting his offense know that he didn't appreciate that.
It's an opportunity for the Georgia defense to force a potential 3 and out and get good field position after the turnover. 2 receivers to the top, 1 through the bottom for Johnny Ray Davis. Davis takes the snap and hands it to Mai on the counter. Mai running left, gets 9 yards, sets up a 3rd and short.
No, Kate, absolutely. This would be a great opportunity to try to get your offense back in great position. Unfortunately, when you got to tackle somebody like Booker Travers or Cries and Mai, it's not necessarily an easy task.
2-by-2 set for Alabama. Hands off to Mai, running left, and only gets a yard. Good stand by the dog defense to force a Alabama punt.
And I'd like to let you know that was a walk-on with the tackle there, sealing that drive.
I'll tell you what, man, we need to do something where we have like an extra 1 or 2 scholarship spots a season that we could just give to a walk-on for like week 7 or week 8, just to give them something, because we love it when the walk-ons actually pay out and help the team win.
I mean, hey, walk-ons are players too. We just don't really think about them.
3 receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top. And they motion them back into the quads. Expect the wide receiver screen, and they fire it quick. And Brett Slate came away with a deflection.
Oh, yes, that was a lovely message. Congratulations, you're a scholarship. You're still a 55 overall, but you have a spot.
You know what? It's all about the principle, okay? Trips bunch to the bottom of the screen, turn around and hand it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly up the middle for 5 yards.
This is trying and trying times for Georgia. They are getting what they need. They have got to find a way to close this gap and find a way to convert this 3rd and 5.
2-by-2 set for Brandon Petty. Petty has his back on the screen. He's got some blockers. He throws one man off. He's fighting. Jen O'Reilly gets 3 of the 5 that he needed, but it's not going to be enough.
Well, now it's going to be decision time, and that was a pretty quick decision there for Georgia.
I feel like if you move everything 5 yards closer, including the first down marker, I feel like they go for it, but just the bad spot in the field. And I don't think we're going to get I'll tell you what, man, these balls they're dying at the right time, and we got about 1 or 2 yards and kick the right way, and we'll get a 4th and brand moment in this game.
Well, I mean, Kate, you hear how loud the rain's coming down right now. The turf's absolutely got to be saturated. It's almost like the Miami-Pittsburgh game back in 2007.
2 receivers to the top, 2 backs in the backfield. Davis calls his own number, running up the middle, gets 10 yards, first down.
You know, some sneaky athleticism tonight by JRD. 7 rushes, 52 yards, and a on-the-ground touchdown. Not a bad performance.
Backs in the backfield again, 2 to the top again for Johnny Ray Davis. Motion the tight end from right to left. Calls his own numbers, the exact same play that they just ran, and it worked again. 9 yards.
No, liked it so much he had to run it twice, and absolutely nothing doing by Nick Lee trying to stop that first down.
And they come out, 2 backs in the backfield again, 2 receivers to the top. Motion the tight end from right to left. Davis calls the zone up 3 in a row, and Davis gets another 7.
We are entering the Twilight Zone.
Deja vu indeed. Back-to-back-to-back plays for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Oh, I thought they were going to do it again. You know what? They might just run it to the other side now.
Oh my. Okay. No.
And they don't. They hand it to Kryson Mai up the middle, 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
I was about to say, if they flipped the formation and ran it again, I was like, you know what? To be fair, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
yeah, man.
it's like, man.
3 to the top, 1 to the bottom for Alabama. Johnny Ray Davis, Booker Travis up the middle. Travis for 10 yards.
You know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep it on the ground. Keep the momentum going and force them to stop it.
And Brady Cassini's got 5 tackles on the night for the defense. And 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Davis fires it on a slant route to Colby Coffee for 5 yards, and he gets laid out.
Yeah, Coffee time, 3 receptions, 42, averaging 14 a snag. Not a bad stat to have.
Chad McPherson on the tackle, and it's a 2nd and 5 opportunity for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the point where you could probably put your foot down to the floor with this gas pedal and start putting some nails into that coffin. 2 receivers to the top, motion the slot from left to right. Davis calls his audibles, and it's a counter to Kryson Mai running left. He's got a lane, gets 8 yards, 1st down.
Nah, absolute just good hard run. 19 rushes over the century mark, 106 on the night. What a performance for Kryson Mai.
2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Davis in the shotgun, dumps it off to his tight end out of the backfield, Connor Keene for 1 yard, I believe. And that's Keene's first catch of the night.
Yeah, not utilizing the tight end seems to be the MO for Bama tonight. But, I mean, you've got Booker Travis, Kryson Mai, Troy Tree, Kyle Claxton, Colby Coffee. I mean, you've got enough of an ensemble to not really need to utilize your big security blankets.
I mean, they've only had 16 passes and 13 completions, so it doesn't shock me that someone's going to end up on the short end of that stick. Davis on the play action, fires it to the right side, out of the backfield again, to the line of scrimmage. Colby Coffee for a 1 yard loss.
And Tyrell Trust absolutely letting nothing go there. Absolutely beautiful pursuit and tackling on that.
And it's an opportunity for the Georgia defense, currently trailing by 14, to hold them to a potential long field goal attempt. If they can get a sack here on 3rd down, it might push them out of range. 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Davis takes the snap, getting pressured, fires it as he's hit into trap, touchdown! Roman Ware for 29 yards, got behind the defense.
And Big Buddy said, I'm not only doing moves on the defense, let's get it cooking on the offense, as he absolutely finds the pay dirt. Bama is rolling with the tide on this one. Georgia's got to find some answers and in a hurry.
And Johnny Ray Davis hung in there and got smacked as he let that ball out on an absolute dime to Roman Ware. And Georgia down 21, 1:42 left in the 3rd quarter. Your back is up against the ropes. You need to get something now.
You know what? Talk about somebody who's had a quiet night that I'd really like to see an explosive drive out of. Jeff Master with the master route running.
Even these dad jokes, man. Petty fires it to his man on the out route. Brady Chaffain for 3 yards.
Well, when in doubt, Chaffain it out.
3 receivers to the top. Back in the backfield with Brandon Petty. Petty takes the snap. He's got his man on a screen pass. O'Reilly going nowhere. Played beautifully by Lucian Nistor.
Yeah, tough crowd. Even the crowd's not liking the dad jokes tonight. I'll show myself out.
You can keep your dad jokes up in Blacksburg. Petty fires it deep downfield. Diving for the catch is Jaden Charles.
You know what? Why worry about who I want to see production from? Jaden Charles is just going to do everything so far. What a layout for that. Just, get some pictures of that one hanging on the wall. That is a moment.
6 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown for Charles tonight. He has been the guy for Brandon Petty. 2 tight ends. Petty turns around, handing to O'Reilly, running right and going nowhere. Flattened on the play by Draco Jones.
No, set the Draco on him and just absolutely left him in chalk.
At some point, the chat is going to flame you enough for these jokes.
Never.
Pistol set for Georgia. Petty calls his own number, running. Excuse me, I can't talk. Running to the left, loses a yard, sets up 3rd and 11.
Hey, you're too worried about my dad jokes over here to even get your own words out. Focus on you. Me and my dad jokes are okay.
I see boos in the chat, buddy. I don't know about that.
I already acknowledged that, boo. Keep it pushing.
2 to the top, 2 to the bottom for Petty. Petty takes the snap. Hanging in the pocket. He's got all day. Alabama bringing 1 rusher. Petty steps up and throws it into the back of his offensive lineman. Not what you want to see of your Georgia.
You absolutely had all day, and that's what you did with it? Absolutely deplorable decision-making there by the vet Brandon Petty on that.
The punt is fielded at the 10-yard line. Travis takes it out to the 27. Skeller in chat was going to be my broadcaster of the year vote, but these dad jokes are rough. Buddy, I'm not making the dad jokes. Don't be hating on me.
No, he was talking about me 100%. And you know what, Kate? You deserve that vote instead. I'll keep him up for you.
Davis calls his own number on the read option, throwing a nasty stiff arm, gets up past the 40 for 14 yards.
Yeah, speaking of which, if I keep my dad jokes up long enough, they'll move you to Twitch to get you away from me, and you can go hunt with the big boys.
Oh, man. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Handing off to My running right. Falls past the 50-yard line for 7 yards. Up over 113 yards.
Just absolutely having a performance.
And that is going to do it. We are through 3. The Alabama Crimson Tide have a commanding lead over the Georgia Bulldogs. You're watching the CFSL presented by PX1 Sports on YouTube. Midfield for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We are in the last of our 4 quarters tonight. 2 receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top. Davis in the shotgun, takes the snap, fires it to Mai out of the backfield, gets the first down into Georgia territory.
That's it. Right now, I just want to see nothing but cries in my just absolutely grinding out these next couple possessions. This should pretty much be just take care of the ball and keep it pushing.
2-by-2 set. Davis in the backfield. Play action to Booker Travis. He's stepping to his right, fires it to the right side on a comeback route, caught by Claxton for 13 yards.
Well, what can I say? Clearly, we don't know, ball kid. We're just going to keep doing everything they want to, and we can't tell them otherwise.
There's a reason we're up here in the booth. 3-by-1 set for Davis. Davis calls his own number again, running to his left, and gets 6 yards on first down.
That's 11 rushes, 88 yards, averaging 8 yards a scamper for JRD. Not a shabby stat line.
3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Davis in the backfield. Fires it over the middle, has a man wide open. It's his tight end, Connor Keene.
Well, I guess you complain about not utilizing the tight ends enough, and hey, you get your answer. Big body, keep it moving.
Wasn't a soul around him. I don't know how you leave a man that large uncovered. You gotta put at least a linebacker, if not a safety, on him. And Alabama on the 10-yard line, not in a goal-to-go situation. They can still get a first down, but it is a nose hair of a difference as Davis turns around, hands to Mai running right, 1 broken tackle, and gets planted after a 2-yard gain.
Now, absolutely just got decleated by Damian Thatcher on that tackle.
Just under 8 minutes left to go. A 21-point lead for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They are knocking on the door again to extend it. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Davis on the play action, fires it into the end zone, and it is caught by Colby Coffey, breaks the plane, touchdown Alabama.
Well, I was hoping to say I'd like to see a little Denver Anthony or some Himver Manthony action, and absolutely not. It's just going to continue to be coffee time as Bama finds the end zone yet again, just absolutely having a way with it.
Himver Manthony. That's the first time I've ever seen that one come up as Alabama extends it to a 28-point lead. 7.5 left to go in this fourth quarter. Never say never, but the Georgia offense is in dire straits right now. They need something from Brandon Petty.
No, unfortunately they do. The question is,
The nasty truck stick by Jed O'Reilly.
I was trying to say I don't think they have it in them at this point. Alabama's just a little bit too commanding, but hey, here's hoping.
7.5 left. Still got to find something. If it's not for this game, it could be for the next one. Petty hanging in the pocket. He's got all day. Fires it deep down the field. Laying out for it again is Jaden Charles.
I want to see what he's cooking with. That is twice I've seen the layout gold be activated. I don't think we have abilities in this. What is going on? My man is putting on a diving performance tonight.
Well, Jaden Charles doing everything he can for this Georgia offense to get him going. Petty takes the snap, hanging in, stepping to his left, fires it all the way across the field into his own sideline.
Live to see another play. Nothing doing, almost got smoked. Good way to get that out.
Trips to the bottom of the screen. One to the top. Petty takes the snap, play action. He's hanging in. He fires it to the left side on a comeback route, and it is caught by Jeff Master for 13 yards.
Hey, there we go. There's the master with the master hands, running the master routes. Love to see that.
I'm telling you, dude, you're gonna get something going with these dad jokes. Pistol formation for Georgia. Petty fires it over the middle, has a man open in traffic. He's Brady Chaffee.
Absolute massive conversion. You know what's crazy? When I don't hit my dad jokes, you keep pushing the button until I start the dad jokes. So I'm gonna need you to pick a side. Which is it? Dad jokes or no dad jokes?
I'm gonna tell you to do the dad jokes, and then I'm gonna criticize you along the way.
Is there a mute button up here in the booth?
You can mute me, but I'm sitting right next to you. You can't do it. Drifts to the bottom of the screen. Petty dumps it off to his tight end. Buck Hunter for 5 yards and gets planted.
Nope. Apparently the only thing I'm getting going is a riot. And you know what? If we get a riot going for me, that means I'm doing my job and getting reactions.
I don't know who you starting a riot with.
Apparently according to Keller.
Only thing he's gonna get going is a riot. Oh, because they don't like your dad jokes. I got you. Offset I formation for Georgia. Knocking on the door of the end zone. Turn around and hand it to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly goes nowhere. Big number 55, Brett Slade on the TFL.
No, it's absolute parting shot. Said thanks for coming, and here's your gift.
There's a 2x2 set for Georgia. Petty fires it over the middle, has a man, broken tackle, goes Jeff Master. Maybe a favorable spot, but first down nonetheless. Over on Twitch, it is a 28-yard touchdown pass to Gabe Guerrero, his second. LSU goes for 2, and it is no good. Texas leads LSU 31-29 with 4:21 left. Petty calls his own number on the read option and goes nowhere. Big number 99, Anthony Grant on the TFL.
Master hands on the previous play.
You know what? I'm just not even gonna fight it anymore.
Nope.
Second and goal for the Georgia Bulldogs. 2 tight ends, I formation. Petty under center, hands to his fullback, and Jakari Brown gets 2 yards.
Absolutely just. They're fighting for everything here. You got to imagine it's 4-down territory. You've got to find the end zone here.
Petty under center again, 3-step drop, fires it out of the back of the end zone. Didn't like what he saw. 4th and goal. You have to think they're going to go for it.
I would kind of like to think they'd put a little bit more effort into that previous play, but here we are.
Beggars can't be choosers. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Petty in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Rolling to his left, he's getting pressure, and it is a sack party. Population Alabama, and turnover on downs.
Ouchtown population, Brandon Petty, just some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. Just nothing going tonight as Bama gets the turnover.
Yeah, and it was a great stand by the Alabama defense to force a turnover on downs, and it's just that may have been the nail in the coffin for Georgia. Draw, two cries in my running up the middle, gets a Tony 10.
I just feel a disturbance in the force, and that disturbance might be Mr. Ouchman out here supporting the fellow Hokie on the call. It's nice to finally have one fan have my back tonight.
No such thing as an Okie fan. Empty set for Alabama. Davis hanging in the pocket, taking a moonshot downfield into the sideline.
Now, you talk about a moonshot, that ball ended up in the end zone. What an absolute cannon of a throw.
Why are you taking that deep of a shot on 3rd and inches when that's what you should be doing? Doing a read option with Johnny Ray Davis, running right, gets 3 yards, first down.
I mean, you could ask Jay Duke why you're going for it on 3rd and 2 with a 40-yard shot, but, sometimes quarterbacks feel themselves. Not everything makes sense.
You put respect on the CFSL's leading rusher from the quarterback position.
No.
My up the middle for 10 goes from first down to first down.
Just absolute, just what a night for Cries and My. Wouldn't be surprised ends up being called player of the night.
And 2 backs in the backfield with Johnny Ray Davis. Motions his tight end from left to right. Davis calls his own number. We've seen this play a lot tonight. And oh my goodness! Georgia's seen it too many times too, and Davis gets planted.
Yellow tape around the body. Call that hit a homicide. Wow, what a shot.
I mean, you have to feel like they're exercising some demons right here with a little bit of frustration with how this game has gone. Are we going to see it? Are we going to see it again? And no, he hands it to Kreis and Mai this time, and Mai's got a big lane up the middle for 17 yards, and he is over 150 on the night.
Executing demons like working in the red zone, nothing doing for Georgia. What a run there for the Crimson Tide.
Nick Lee for the Georgia Bulldogs up to 12 tackles on the night. Davis on the wide receiver screen gets it out to his man, Denver Anthony. You were calling for it. There's his first catch of the night.
And Henver Anthony finally showing up on the stat line. Let's go.
I'm not even going to talk to you, Nathan.
What's wrong, Kato?
Empty set, 3x2. Davis fires it to the top of the screen into traffic, and Brady Cassini couldn't hold on to it. Nice deflection.
No, absolutely massive deflection there. And it's nice to see some people showing up for the booth.
2x2 set. Davis in the shotgun fires it on to his Keene, and Keene can't hold on. 4th down for Alabama.
Interesting decision being up this much just to say we ball.
I don't hate it just because of where they're at on the field, but we'll wait and see what happens. Davis hands off to Mai, and Mai is brought down.
Not a chance there at all. What a stop as well. And of course, who else? Brady Cassini absolutely bringing the momentum to a stop. And Keller, what friends?
Petty on the read option, throws a man off and gets up to the 45, 7-yard gain.
Just absolutely trying everything. It's a little bit too late. You can take the L out of Lover, but hey, you're working to prove for next week.
Say 2 receivers to the top. Petty calls his own number on the read option again, finally getting something going in the run game, and Petty gets 9 yards.
I hate that it took you this long to find out what's really working. Unfortunately, it's not going to make a difference tonight, but everybody's going to be happy regardless. And now I'm just being slandered out here. Tough scene.
Empty set. You've been by someone on your own team too. Empty set, motion to quads. Expect a screen pass here as Petty pump fakes it, fires it on the check down on the screen, and oh my goodness, Jen O'Reilly gets planted.
Anybody get the license plate of that Mack truck? What a hit! And Kate, do we have a final update over on the Twitch?
We do. Texas defeats LSU 31-29. They are done over there on Twitch. It pains me to say it, but the Texas Longhorns are still undefeated in conference play. 2x2 set. Petty hands off to, I believe that is Easton, and oh no, a flag on the play. Dominic, when was the last time we saw a hold?
Week 1 Notre Dame.
Oh dear Lord. And when it rains, it pours, and the Georgia offense is going in the wrong direction. 2nd and a mile. 2 receivers to the top, 2 tight ends to the bottom. Petty hands off to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly loses some yards again. 3rd and 22. Edward Barrett on the TFL. I believe that is a walk-on.
You know what, Cade? When it rains, it pours. That's an astute observation because it is just cold and wet, which sounds about the day for the Bulldogs.
2 receivers to the top, tight end receiver to the bottom. Petty hangs in the pockets, rolling out, fires it to his man on a crossing route. Jakari Brown for 10 yards, 4th and 12. Are you waving the white flag, or are you still trying to get something going?
I think either way the ball's ending up back with Bama. Either way you look at it.
Well, they are gonna punt it away, and I do have one positive on the night for Georgia. You are at home. It's not gonna take you very long to get back to your own bed.
I was gonna say it's almost over. I was like, if you find a solid positive, I'll be impressed. Actually, no, yeah, I've got one for you after this.
Well, here's the thing. We've all played in games like this, either as a player or in the CFSL, and it's just not fun when you feel like everything went wrong for you tonight as Mai gets 2 yards. But you got to take some positives, whether it's for this season, for this week, or for the next couple weeks, or whatever the case is. The clock, as long as the clock still got time on it, you got to keep fighting. 2 receivers to the top, 2 backs in the backfield with Davis. Davis hands to Mai, running right, lowers his shoulder, gets 4 yards.
You know, okay, positive takeaway, the safety position really stuck out to me tonight for Georgia. Between Brady Cassini, Tyrell Truss, Nick Lee, absolutely were dogs out there tonight.
And they don't have to snap it here, but they will. Turn around, hand it to Mai, and Mai loses a yard. A good TFL to end it for the Georgia Bulldogs. But that is going to do it from here in Athens, Georgia. The Alabama Crimson Tide storm in and dominate 41-13 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Dominic, wrap it up for us, buddy.
Let's see. Where do I... Oh, wait, Alabama. Alabama absolutely came out the gate firing in all facets of the game. Absolutely took over. JRD had an incredible ground game and also air game. Roman Ware on both sides of the ball absolutely taking over. Booker Travis, Kreis and Maya, absolutely the two-headed duo back there. Just absolutely hats off. Georgia, maybe next week will be your week, but tonight was all Crimson Tide.
Thank you to our executive producer, Mike Peters. Thank you to our associate producer, Austin Crow. My name is Cade Padgett. Joining me in the booth tonight was Dominic Barfield. You have been watching the CFSL presented by PX1 Sports on YouTube. Tomorrow night, we're going to close it out on Thursday night at 6:30 on YouTube. Texas A&M travels to West Virginia, and at 8:30, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish travel to the Florida State Seminoles. Thank you for joining us tonight here on YouTube and making this what I believe to be the best broadcast of the CFSL. Good night. We will see you tomorrow.